Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Listen, y'all. This is your girl, CWall, checking in. And I kind of got a little caught up watching the Wizards. I'm going to give y'all a minute to get on in the virtual room because you all know it's time for coaching from the couch. Every single Thursday, 7:30. Today we're starting a little late, couple minutes late. But I'm going to wait for you all to get in as we get ready to talk all of our favorite sports in the DMV. Indeed, so it is the first day of April, also known as April Fool's Day. As Cameron Mingo has said. Josh Kirby, what's up, my friend? What is up? We're going to get going on all the good conversation here. Because you all know one of our favorite sayings on the show is, when is there a dull moment in DC sports? And that would be never. And this week is no different. This week is absolutely no different. So I'm going to give y'all a minute to get on in here so we can get going and get to chatting about everything going on in the sports world, everything going on in this area. You all say what's up to the originator, Sherrod Oliphant, who is the lead sports writer for CWall Sports and Entertainment. So much going on. Big Brother Dervin joining. And make sure everyone take a moment and say hello to my mom. Make sure you say hello to my mom, who is shouting out the CWall family and saying what's up to Harry Smith Jr. Listen, I always give folks a minute to get on so that we can start chatting, give you an opportunity to tag your DMV sports loving family and friends. Because, of course, once the show is up, you can always watch the show. But it's a lot of fun when it's live too, right? Always saying what's up to Damon. And make sure you all say what's up to our sister Joy, who does all of the facilitation of the discussion. She does it all every single week beautifully. So we've already shared the show, right, y'all? I need a like or a love emoji, a fire emoji, or something to let me know that you all are ready to go. Because I'm ready. And yes, the Wizards are on and in the background. So, first things first, I think, because what did I say? I said I did want to talk about our Lady Terps a little bit. Got to touch on today being opening day, but not yet, quite yet for the Nats. Want to talk a little Wizards, and then we'll get into the Washington football team. So, you all, the Lady Terps, they lost out of the NCAA tournament. If you all remember last week, I was extra super duper hyped. Weren't we all so excited, thinking, hey, listen, Maryland is getting it. They hot. They are hot. And I know that so many analysts were projecting Maryland to be the winner of the tournament. They were taken out. They lost on Sunday night to the Lady Texas Longhorns. Wow. One of the lowest scoring games that the Lady Terps had played all season long. All I can say is this. Texas came to play. What a defensive effort by the Lady Longhorns. Very well coached. We're all so used to seeing, Maryland with their offensive weapons and just that high-powered offense. We're so used to seeing them score so much, and they came up on a team that had them on the ropes. They had the Lady Terps on the ropes, and they were not able to pull it out. So they are out of the tournament. Yes, it was a great season, but we absolutely would have loved to see them continue on in the tournament, but they have been eliminated. On a positive note, we do want to acknowledge Coach Brenda Fries on her honor as the Associated Press Women's Basketball Coach of the Year. So the Lady Terps, their coach, Miss Brenda Fries, Coach Brenda, congratulations. I know the season did not at all end the way that you anticipated, but nonetheless, you were able to win Coach of the Year. Always positive feedback on Coach Brenda and the relationship that she has with the players and how well they are coached. And shout out to her, but we all got to admit that we hated to see them go down. So, more to come. We shall see what else happens. As we transition to the next conversation, I have to say what's up to my cousin Sabrina, and we got to say what's up to Miss Tina Moore, huge DC sports fan. Got to say what's up to her. So listen, it is opening day. It is Major League Baseball opening day. The Nats would have been playing right now against the Mets. But as you all may have heard, the game was postponed. They had a player test positive for COVID-19. So the game has been postponed. It is questionable for Saturday. They're trying to operate in caution. The organization is trying to operate in caution, and to quote, the Washington Nationals and New York Mets at Nationals Park has been postponed because of ongoing contact tracing involving members of the Nationals organization. So, first and foremost, we hope that everyone is well. If there is a positive test, we just hope and pray that everyone is well and that they get well soon. If it looks like there's been more updates, Tina sharing that there's 3 players that tested positive. I was waiting to see if any more news had come out about the players who may have tested positive or what's going on there. But as soon as it was announced, we said, okay, this is obviously an issue. And first and foremost, as Joy puts there, they got to stay safe. Got to stay safe. So we're just going to keep, praying and hoping that they get better and all is well. Because right now, we don't want to start out, and I'm going to cut my phone off. We don't want to start the season off like this at all now, do we? Don't want to start the season off like this. We want to make sure everyone is well and their families are well, but not necessarily the news we wanted to see today. Didn't want to see this news at all today. Not at all, not at all, not at all. So, with all that being said, and I feel like my phone is still going off, y'all. Maybe it is. One of these phones going off. Y'all hear a ding? It's probably one of the phones. But at any rate, you all. So, we'll see what happens. The Nats schedule, we will check it out. We'll see what happens. And we'll go from there, you guys. Let's talk some Wizards. Wizards fans, check in. Are you with me? Wizards fans, check in. And I already see my guy David Hood. I see Randall Martin, the 85 South Fan Club. You all are in the building, so we'll get to the Washington football team in a moment. But want to check in. Wizards fans. Is there anybody that's a Wizards fan that's on the line? Because we know that, hey, listen, the Wizards are so up and down. Look like a A lot of people were starting to be anxious and enjoy watching new Wizards team member, Daniel Gafford, and then he was injured. Chandler Hutchison has been playing solid, but the person in the news this week has been Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook. I want to see right now, Wizards fans and overall sports fans, I want you to list right now, give me a word to describe Russell Westbrook. And while you all are giving me a word to describe Russell Westbrook, I'm going to just give some additional commentary, right? So, a lot of news because Russell Westbrook, first time in NBA history, having, 35 points, 21 assists, all kinds of crazy rebounds. The first one in NBA history to do so. He's already in 38 games with the Wizards. Has beat the franchise record for triple doubles in a single season. He's already done that. And there's a strong possibility we will see Russell Westbrook surpass Oscar Robertson's triple-double record, which is amazing to do that. And I see Harry's comment of relentless, and I think that is absolutely one word that you can use to describe Russell Westbrook. He is so passionate about the game of basketball, and definitely relentless. He's not going to give up. He's going to play as long as the game clock is ticking. He's going to play, and he's going to give it his all. And I think he's an amazing mentor for the team overall. And I love to see that energy every single time he hits the floor. And we knew, earlier in the season, okay, something's not right, doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, what's going on? And we already learned and knew that he was dealing with an injury. And then he's gotten better. He's not hurting you more. So we're seeing an improvement in his play overall, and what we're seeing it's been tremendous. Cameron, I want to acknowledge your comment and your one word or one phrase to describe Russell Westbrook, and you say MVP. I mean, he has been that. We have seen Russell Westbrook be the MVP of the NBA, and that is a huge accomplishment, because there's so much talent and so many, all of these athletes, once they make it to the league, they are elite. It is an amazing feat to make the professional league and then have the longevity that you have in the professional league. And he's absolutely been an MVP and absolutely enjoyed watching him play. I absolutely also want to acknowledge what Damon said. And this is one of the reasons why Russell Westbrook was in the news so much this week. And I'm not going to really get into, what was said between Russell Westbrook and Stephen A. Smith's comments. But Stephen A. Smith's comments were about Russell Westbrook being ringless. And, he is. That is a fact. He is not an NBA champion. But I can appreciate his comeback to Stephen A. Smith and being like, hey, listen, no, do I have an NBA championship? Do I have a NBA championship ring? No, I do not. But for him and where he is from and where he is from in his neighborhood and from the streets, every day he wakes up and is able to play the game that he is loved and that he is gifted in, and every day he's able to give back to the community. That's his version of being, and that's his definition of being a champion. So I wanted to mostly just discuss that and share about that with Russell Westbrook, because his name has been in sports news so much this week. I can't wait to see the historic moment when he surpasses Oscar Robertson, because I absolutely believe that he will. And we're all going to be watching. We're all going to see that history be made to beat Oscar Robertson's, to surpass Oscar Robertson, and be something that I know many of us probably never thought anybody would be able to do. And while absolutely, yes, he is still not an NBA champion, he will forever be in the history books, and already is, for his contributions to the game of basketball. So I wanted to acknowledge that. I wanted to share that and just say something about it, because it needed to be. I wanted to make sure that it was said. And he's still making a name. He's still a household name. He didn't come to the Wizards and then just fall off. That didn't happen. And in the beginning of the season, that's what folks thought was going to happen, but that is not at all what happened. So I just can't wait to see how he continues to progress, and how he continues to play, and how he continues to make an impact for players and in the community. And I still think he's got some more to do, because like I said, I want to see him surpass Oscar Robertson for sure. So, moving on to the Washington football team. Check in, Washington football fans. Check in, check in, check in. Make sure y'all are checked in. Are y'all there? I need a like or a love emoji to know that my Washington football team fans are in the building. Are you all there? Are you checked in? Where are y'all? Because I absolutely want to talk to you all this evening. And as Tina is putting on there, yes, we are having a show, and it also so happens to be the birthday of the great Sean Taylor. So is everybody on? Have you tagged your Washington football team loving family and friends? Because I know it's a lot of y'all. It's a lot of all of us. So Washington football team, here we go. So check in if you watched Ron Rivera's press conference today. Ron Rivera's press conference. Give me a like or love emoji or something if you have tuned in to Ron Rivera's press conference. Have you? Check in, check in, check in. I want to go through some of these because I think it's very, very important. Very important. So let's go through some of these questions, shall we? And I want to know, too, if you've already listened in on Ron Rivera's press conference, chat, place in the comments what you think about it. Let me know, what did you think? What are your big takeaways? And let's see and make sure that we touch on those while I'm going through this. So, first question, very first question. If Ryan Fitzpatrick is the starting quarterback for next season, and Ron Rivera says he's going to come in as the number one, but there will be a competition. We want to play the best football player. Obviously, that gives us the best opportunity to win. We feel very comfortable and very confident in the guys that we have. Ryan gives us a completely different type of football player. We're excited about who we can become as a football team. Washington football fans, how do you feel about that? I want to know, how do you feel about that? How do you feel? Now, this was already talked about, okay? I want to remind everybody that when it was first announced that the Washington football team was signing Ryan Fitzpatrick, that ESPN's Adam Schefter, he said it, He said the thought is Fitzpatrick would come in to be the starter. So this news, I said that to say, then this what Ron Rivera shared today should not have been a surprise, is what I'm saying. You don't, and like Damon said, you don't sign him to sit him on the bench. Nope. So, in another question, the very next follow-up question about why having a quarterback competition is important, let's go back a little bit. Maybe, because now it's April 1st, so maybe a couple months ago, remember that, and Ron Rivera said it today in the press conference, but a few months ago, he mentioned making the mistake in not having a quarterback competition. So while we know and we're sure, okay, Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to come in as the starter, as the number one, because you do have to have a depth chart. We all know that. So number one, all right, but there's going to be a competition for the best player. And I think that's fair. That's fair. That's what you do. Charles Tate, I see your comment there about drafting a quarterback in the 5th round. We'll see what they do. And to that point, here's what Ron Rivera had to say on if he plans on adding more quarterbacks to the roster. He says, well, we'll see. Again, I can't tell you how things are going to unfold once we get into the draft. We're going to react. We're going to react to what's going to happen in front of us. Picking where we're picking. There are a lot of things that can happen. We have targets. We have ideas. We have guys that we like. But that always changes just because of the fact that everybody has a choice. You just never know what's going to happen at that point. Like I said, we will react to what happens in front of us. So basically, he didn't answer the question. So, and that's fine. That's okay. He didn't have to give a straight answer. He absolutely did not have to give a straight answer, but, and we can't expect him to tell us everything. Ron ain't going to give us all the keys. He's not going to give us the draft board. He's not going to tell us, but I guess like he said, they'll react to what's in front of them. Going back to, I don't want to talk too much about Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think it's abundantly clear he will be on the depth chart. You will see him as number one. Do not be shocked or surprised when you see that. But there will be a competition. Absolutely a competition for that spot. Want to mention Ron's answer to the question on the additions of wide receivers Curtis Samuel and Adam Humphries. So while I'm reading Ron's response to this question, please absolutely give your feedback. Share in the comments. What do you think about the addition of Curtis Samuel and Adam Humphries and how that will impact the offense? Here's what Ron Rivera said earlier today. Well, the biggest thing that's going to happen when you add on guys like Curtis and Adam are guys that are savvy veterans, guys that are making names for themselves. With Curtis, the vertical attack, I think, is going to be very much a compliment to Terry's game on the outside. Then you throw Adam into the mix, and Adam working underneath with the tight ends is going to be the other compliment that we're going to have. Then with some of the things that we do in this offense and what Scott Turner's plans are in moving guys around. We're not always going to be static in terms of where we line up. We're going to be, I want to say, multidimensional in the way we use players. So, sounds like, as to you all's point, they're small receivers, but they're fast. Got a good setup. I appreciate you, Charles, for mentioning. Don't forget, you guys, that still Gandy Golden. Still have to get Gandy Golden going. AGG. Still got to see what we can get out of AGG. Kelvin Harmon. We're going to keep bringing Kelvin's name up because we had so many high hopes for Kelvin last year, and then he was injured last June. So we're looking for him to come back. be stronger and better than ever. So this is a good group. This is a good, solid group. I think it's a position area where, you know, just last year was, you know, we were kind of like still not knowing who was going to do what and what, but I think, you know, solid. Want to jump to Ron Rivera's response to contract negotiations with Brandon Sheriff. So on contract negotiations with Brandon Sheriff, I think this is important. Ron says, well, that situation hasn't changed. We've got Brandon signed right now, and we'll see how things go as we go forward. We are most certainly interested, but again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. We haven't talked since he signed. What are you all's reactions to that? I want to see you all's reactions to that. Let me know how you all feel about that. I already see your comment, Charles, and it's Sheriff's last year here. Any feedback on the Brandon Sheriff comment? Definitely doesn't feel like there's any conversation nearing a long-term agreement. And I see your comment, Damon, that it doesn't sound good. It definitely doesn't sound like they're nearing an agreement. One in the means of a long-term agreement. I think when we've talked on the show here in recent weeks, there's a desire to re-sign Brandon Sheriff. So we'll see what happens. As I shared with you all before, this is something to be discussed. It's something to still, you know, something to watch. Now, here's something that we haven't talked about yet, you all. And I want to get you all's thoughts on this. It's 17 regular season games. What do you all think about that? What do you all think? So here was Ron Rivera's answer to the question about 17 regular season games. He said, it's cool. I think that's great about the competition. We'll be able to compete against the best and see where we are. As far as the 17 game schedule, let's not forget that it's what they call the 17-3 now. We have 3 preseason games. So to me, it's just an extra game added on. It's something that the league and the Players Association agreed on. Apparently, the league and the Players Association thinks it's good for the players and the coaches and the teams. We'll see how it goes. It's just part of the game now. So, hey, if you love football, you got one more game. And to Coach Rivera's point, it is the 17-3. So you got one less preseason game. And you add on the regular season game. So technically, it's the same amount of games, I think is what he was saying. It makes sense. We absolutely have to talk about Charles's point here, which is the Washington football team schedule. Ooh. I'm like, I don't like this. You know, so we're going to get to that. We're going to get to the opponents. We're going to talk about that once everything is set. Draft is coming up. You all were in April, so it's the road to draft. So I want all of you all to be thinking about what are some of the college players that you all would love to see the team draft. Yes, we always talk about position needs, and there's still some. Again, love what they did in free agency, thought it was extremely effective, but we know that there's still some positions of need. There's still some positions of need, and we want to absolutely, and I believe they will, cover those holes. I really do. But who? Right? You know, drafting players, but who? Drafting positions, but who? So would love to hear as we're nearing the draft, which players you're looking at, which players you're really intrigued by. If you all recall, for those of you all who have been on the CWall Sports and Entertainment journey for a while now, last year we did a whole virtual draft show. We did it. I think we definitely did Thursday and Saturday. We did trivia. We had all sorts of virtual games going, a lot of good trivia. So maybe we'll do the same thing. Maybe we'll do the same thing as we prepare for draft and look out for who the Washington football team and the moves that they will be making on draft night and draft weekend. But let's start thinking about the who. We know the position needs. We've talked about that so much, but who do we want to fill those holes? So more to come as always. And you guys, we made it another week. We made it another week. Can y'all believe it? Another week of coaching from the couch. Listen, you guys have been awesome. It's been great. As always, I hope you all are staying safe. Please stay safe. Please absolutely wear your mask. Shout out to all the essential workers. It's getting a little chilly out. I thought last week it was going to get warmer, but it's back chilly today. So, you know, be safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, get vaccinated, everything that everybody's saying in the chat. And you guys, let's keep paying attention to what's going on in the sports in the DMV. I see you all dropping these draft names, and we're going to talk about them soon. So you all make sure, all these names you all dropping, make sure you all are tuning in, because we're going to talk about all of the players that you all are recommending, because I already like exactly what I'm saying. So you guys be blessed and have a good night.